Hans Wormhat, just a quick observation that I've thought about before, and somebody just left a comment, so it's worth doing a video on this. What happened to tanning oil? So I'll read the comment. Yes, at 60 years old, the change has been very dramatic. Never knew what sunscreen was when I was a kid. We had tanning oil. Smelled so good. And nowadays, everybody slathers up with sunscreen like every day. I mean, I don't personally, but people are obsessed with sunscreen these days. And sure, I guess part of the reason is probably they want you slathering a bunch of stuff on your skin that's not good for you. They don't want you absorbing the, the sun's rays, and because that's the sun is good for you. Obviously, God made this place, and the sun is very healthy for you. But it's just more bright. It's brighter, and the sun is a light in the sky. So I mean, just think about if a light is really really bright, it's going to be hotter too. The sun's heat comes from its brightness. And I don't know exactly why everything is brighter. Like, why is the sun brighter and then the moon's brighter? But then also, I think that that is linked with time going faster. To me, it just seems like an electrical system is having more energy put into it. Like, I don't know. I just think of a machine, and if you just started throwing in a ton more energy, it's like the machine starts going faster, everything starts going brighter. That's just the way that I interpret it. And yeah, here you go. Do you guys remember when tanning oil was a thing? Even when I was young, tanning oil was still a thing. Some people, when you're going out in the sun and you want to get a tan, they would actually put oil on their body so that they would tan faster. You would cook to a crisp if you did this today. I bet that if you go to a beauty place, they probably don't even carry tanning lotion anymore. Maybe like one or two things. But this used to be a big thing. Gives you a better tan, the fastest tan. Today's copper tone is enriched to make your skin more tannable, more responsive to the sun's tanning rays. Yeah, considering that in today's sun you can get a tan when it's like 9 a.m., no joke. If they're not spraying the rising sun, you can get a tan early morning these days. It's because the sun is brighter and hotter than it used to be. The sun is, or the moon is also brighter and colder than it used to be. Got a lot of orange. I mean, the 70s were all about orange. I don't know if this is 70s or not, but look at that monarch butterfly in the boy body. Tartan lets you tan, never burn. Johnson suntan oil. Yeah, this used to be a big thing. You would buy a lotion that would help you tan faster. This body was just ridiculous. Short legs, long lean torso, dangly monkey arms, long neck. This was just hilarious. Pass the butter, please. Copper tone, tanning butter. Could you imagine something like this existing today? It doesn't exist anymore because you would burn to a crisp because the sun is way brighter than what it used to be. I thought this was just really creepy. This one, there was a ad including this person. It was just very strange. And look at that. Man. Man, oh man. Newmar. I thought their last name was Newman. Julie Newmar. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 26. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun. So I'll stop here because this is something that a lot of people don't understand. The moon is as bright as the sun used to be. It's just that the moon throws off cold light, and people don't know that sunlight and daylight are two different things. The moon is shining like as bright as the sun used to. That's why we can see it during the day all the time now. It doesn't matter if the sun is out and super bright. If the moon is above the horizon, you will see it because that's just how bright it is these days. And to me, that's fulfilling that prophecy. The moon shall be as the light of the sun. What is the defining property of the sun? If you go to Genesis, the sun is the light that rules the day. But that's just not true anymore. The moon is also out during the day now, which has fulfilled that prophecy. The light of the moon is exactly like the light of the sun because it shines during the day. And, I mean, it's just really bright. If you go out during a full moon, you will see it throwing off glare. But people in their minds, they're like, okay, but it's still nighttime. Yeah, it's because daytime and sunlight are two different things. Go read Genesis 1 critically and pay attention to how light exists before the sun does. Plants exist before the sun existed. And I actually just had a connection, so I'll throw it out here to see what you guys think of it. You know how they're always, one day for God is like 1,000 days for man? I just had that idea of, the days of creation. So maybe it was thousands of years that were happening, and maybe that's where the big trees came from. Maybe there were thousands of years where there wasn't a sun, but plants were around, and there was still daylight and darkness. Maybe that's where all the big trees came from while God was making this place, taking thousands of years, but 1 year in God's eyes. I don't know. That was just a thought that popped into my mind. I do believe that there used to be really big trees. I do agree with that. Okay, continuing on. And the light of the sun shall be sevenfold. Now, does it have to be 7 times exactly? 7 is just one of those symbolic numbers, and power often is what it comes to mind when I see the number 7, especially Old Testament. People, 7 times bigger just means like a lot. But it could be, the way God works. God could make it so that on the last day, the sun is actually 7 times brighter than when it began. It's very bright. I wouldn't be surprised if it's nearing 7 times brighter than what it used to be in the past. Okay, as the light of 7 days, and the day that the Lord bindeth up the breach of his people, and healeth the stroke of their wound. Yeah, so just again to reinforce something, I think people miss out on this. They don't think that we're there yet, because they go out and they see the really bright moon, and they're like, well, it doesn't look like daytime. It's never going to look like daytime. That's because daytime is separate from the sun. The sun is not what causes daytime. That is a NASA outer space fantasyland lie. Okay, we'll keep it at that. You can let me know your personal reasons why you know that the sun is brighter than it used to. When I was little, I used to look at the sun, even though my teachers told me not to. Oh, I was such a bad little kid. Right? It turns out a lot of us truthers were the little kid who looked at the sun anyways and didn't understand what the big deal was. You used to be able to look directly at the sun. That's why there's things like sun gazers. That's why sun gazing is a thing. But there's no way that that's a thing today. You cannot look at the sun today because it's so bright. So yeah, that's one thing. When I was little, I used to look at the sun. It was yellow. It wasn't that bright and hot. Today, something that's really noticeable for me on a cloudy day, that temperature drop that you feel when the sun goes behind a cloud, that is so much more extreme than it ever used to be in the past. And it's just something that I can tell because I've lived my life and I have experiences. And if you don't agree, well, that's fine. Why are you even here watching my videos if you don't agree with anything I say? But I mean, I'm just saying that because people come in and they try to say, oh, you're wrong. Well, you're telling me that my memory of my past experiences is wrong. Okay, that's something that you can say, but then why are you even here? These videos are for people that have these memories too. They remember that when the sun used to dip behind a cloud, it didn't feel like a 30-degree temperature drop instantly. And being out in the sun didn't make you feel like you're going to burn up after you've only been in the sun for 5 minutes. And yeah, I literally have gotten a tan at like 9 a.m. in these past few years. That's just not how life used to be. And I guess it's worth throwing in the time thing too. People will come out of the woodworks. Well, you're getting older. That's why you think time is going faster. I'm not dumb. I understand the concept of when you're 5 years old, a year is a larger percentage of your life when you're 40 years old. I understand that concept. That concept is not beyond me. However, I still know what a week used to feel like, and I know what a week feels like now. I know what a month used to feel like, and I know what a month feels like now. When I was 20, I know what a year felt like, and it doesn't feel like what a year is now that I'm 30. So, and I mean, you can even go into the 1/1000 thing, which I still don't hear enough people talking about. You literally cannot count using 1/1000, 2/1000, 3/1000, 4/1000. That's how we used to count. And I remember that I used to have to slow myself down because I would go too fast. But nowadays that doesn't even work. There's no way that they teach children to count with 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, or 1 1000, 2 1000. There's no way that they ever teach children that anymore because it just doesn't work anymore because time is going so fast. Which I think is connected to this hotter, brighter sun and colder, brighter